You're welcome to day 22 of my series 23 till I'm 23. Today's topic is rebuilding confidence after failure. Yeah, that's the topic for today. If you've ever tried doing something and you failed at it before, then I trust that you understand me when I say that going back to a place of self confidence in such an instance or after such an experience is very much difficult, especially if you used to be a person of very high self esteem. This is because a part of you will just keep bringing back that incidence of failure, and you're going to keep feeling like such failure is possible again since it was even possible in the first place. It's going to also feel like that part of yourself that strongly used to believe so much in yourself is completely long lost and gone, and you're going to feel like you cannot rely on yourself again since you relied on yourself and you failed. Having experienced failure a few times, right, I can say that a place of failure is a bad place to be, right, because it makes you question your abilities and it makes you question a lot of things about yourself. But honestly, I've come to realize that failure is a huge part of life. You're going to fail at certain things, and the earlier you accept that you're going to fail at some things, the better for you. Rebuilding your confidence after a major setback or rebuilding your confidence after a period of failure is something that is quite tough. However, it's not completely impossible. Like, it's not something that is impossible to do. It's going to take time, it's going to take patience, a whole lot of work to get yourself back to that level of self-esteem that you used to have. Now picture a child who is trying to walk, and after taking the first step the child falls face front and begins to cry and all of that. A part of that child is really not going to want to walk again because of the fear of having to fall again face front and hurt himself. However, dwelling on that setback, dwelling on the possibility of falling again, will prevent that child from walking forever. So that's what thinking about failure or thinking about the possibilities, the recurrent possibilities of failure, that's what it does to us. It makes us feel like we should just remain in our comfort zone. We should just remain in the place that we currently are, because stepping out of that comfort zone has dangers that you're not ready to experience again. So number one is acceptance. That's the very first thing. It's usually the first step in a lot of things. Acceptance. Accepting that it did happen. Accepting that you failed at something. That's actually the first step. Denying that you failed at something, it's not the wisest step to take. Accepting how it made you feel, what emotions came with it, the feeling of disappointment, the feeling of fear, the feeling of doubt, the feeling of distrust in yourself, all those feelings that were associated with the failure, accepting them and recognizing that they actually are there. I try not to make it about me. I try not to allow it to define me. However, I recognize them and I recognize that the situation did happen. There's a very big difference between saying I am a failure and saying I failed at this. They are two very different things. So failure is something that happened or something that happens, but it's not who you are. The second thing is to analyze the situation, assess the situation. Now, the importance of analyzing or assessing the situation is not necessarily so that you can go back and turn the hands of time. No, because obviously you can't do that. But it's important to analyze and assess the situation so that you figure out parts where you might have gone wrong. Because honestly, we will be liars to say that we're not responsible for some types of failures. And in analyzing the situation, you're going to be doing this from an objective point of view. What are the things that went wrong? You're analyzing the situation so that you find out mistakes that you might have possibly made and correct them. And by correcting those mistakes, you're somewhat preventing such failure from happening again. You're going to be asking yourself questions. What are the things that went wrong? what should I have done better that I didn't do. You're going to assess these things and make sure that you're finding those points that might have been weak points or that might have been lacking. So having an understanding of what happened, somehow it gives you a control, because obviously if you have an understanding of what went wrong the first time, you're able to correct those mistakes and somewhat prevent it from happening again. This is not to say that there are some failures which are completely not your fault, right? In those cases, you really cannot start saying, what could I have done differently? I don't know. There are some cases where you're not really at fault, but the failure just happened due to other external factors that might have not been coming from you. So the third step is to celebrate your small wins, celebrate your milestones again. Why this is important is because it reinforces the belief that you have in yourself. It reinforces that belief because something had happened that somehow shook your belief in yourself. So it's important that when you achieve little milestones, you celebrate it. Don't wait for the very big wins to celebrate, especially if you've been in a place of failure before. Celebrate those little milestones, recognize them, make noise about them in your space, with people, however you want to celebrate them. Really, whatever helps you boost that confidence. Set goals that are workable, and whenever you hit those milestones towards your goals, you celebrate them. By celebrating them, you're boosting your confidence again. The fourth step to take when you're trying to rebuild your confidence after experiencing failure is to fight that inner thought or that inner negative voice in your head within you. Is to constantly fight it. A part of you is always going to keep telling you that you failed at this before, so you're going to fail again. A part of you is going to keep bringing thoughts to your head that you're a failure, that nothing good can come out of you. Just very stupid negative thoughts. But it's in those moments that you have to fight those negative thoughts with positive words, with the word of God as well. You keep fighting those negative thoughts that will keep coming to your head. Fight that negativity with so much positivity. Surround yourself with people that are supportive, because these people are the people that will remind you of who you are, because in that moment you're in doubt of who you are, probably because of what had come in, the failure that had come in and had kind of disrupted the stability you somewhat had. So it's important to have these people who already have a prior knowledge of you, and they will keep reinforcing their belief in you. So these people, they do not just say, I believe in you, I know you're smart, they do not just say it. It's not just words of the lips alone, but they believe it because they've experienced it before from you, based off of their prior knowledge of you before the whole disruption. It's also important to treat yourself with so much compassion. I'm not talking about self-pity right now. No, I'm talking about compassion. Treat yourself the same way you would treat a friend who needs encouragement. What are the words that you would tell a friend who is down and needs encouragement? Tell yourself those words as well. Don't use harsh words on yourself. Don't use words that will mar you. Don't use words that will break you. Number 5, the fifth step I would say is to visualize the success that you hope to achieve. Now, I believe our imaginations were given to us for a reason. Our imaginations are there for a reason. So whatever success you're thinking of reaching, whatever it is you're thinking of getting at, imagine yourself there already. So it's not enough for you to just say the words and all of that. Go a step further. Just take it a step further and imagine yourself in that place already. Imagine yourself in that place of success. Imagine yourself in that place of breakthrough that you seek. Whatever breakthrough that might be, imagine yourself there already. It motivates you to want to work towards that visual image that you have already created in your imaginations. The sixth point I would say is to be patient with yourself. Give yourself time. Being able to bounce back to a certain level of confidence even after experiencing failure, it builds resilience. It helps you have a resilient spirit, and that's something that not everybody has, right? So if you're able to bounce back even after countless times of failing, then you're definitely a resilient person. The last step I would say is to pray seriously about it. Experiencing failure is something that can really hold you back. If you've experienced failure before, it's not really a nice place to want to be. So because it's not a nice place to want to be, everything in you is going to keep being scared of the possibilities of going back to being in that dark place. So it's something that I honestly think that you should pray about, because even all the steps that I've outlined are things that you might not even be motivated to even do in the first place. So pray to God for the strength to see you through all of this, to keep showing up, to keep being patient with yourself. Pray to Him to help you build that character, that resilient spirit that is necessary for living in this life in the first place. And I trust that you'll be okay eventually. So this is just the last reminder that failure doesn't define you in any way. It does not define you. You are not failure. You just failed at something, and it's okay. Thank you guys for staying with me through day 22. I don't want to see any happy birthday in advance in the comment section. Me, I know it's take advance, so let's take on that day. Thank you guys, and catch you tomorrow.